Perfect. Well,
Can you see me?
yes,
All right, cool.
let's get us started. Here we go. Let's do this. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Atlanta. Good morning, our family here in the live Zoom studio of the Daily Huddle. Good morning, those of you that join us on Facebook. Good morning to wherever you are. Thank you for being here and opening your calendar in the morning to start the day in a particular way that we never know. But if you're early enough, you get the joke of the day, and it's always amazing, okay? Great to be with you. Our number one executive coach is finishing up a meeting, so he'll be joining us in a minute. So in the meantime, it's me, myself, and I, and you, and Andrea Villa, who is an amazing human being, just a beautiful human being. Great to be with all of you. Alvin, good morning. Oh, sorry. See, since Saurel is not here, I lose my groove here, but I want to start first by anchoring us to a particular conversation that makes a profound difference and is in how you start your day gives you the rest of your day, and the way that you live each day gives you the rest of your life. And there's a particular focus that makes the whole difference for the rest of your life, and that's how present you are to the now. So let's do a quick exercise. Andrea, where are you?
Gio, I am right where I need to be.
Yes, thank you. Let's see. Sure, girl. What time is it?
The time is right now.
Perfect. And Jacqueline?
Yes.
How are you?
I am how I say I am.
And
today I am fabuloso.
Fabuloso works. Thank you, Jacqueline. Alvin, good morning. Good morning, those of you who join us. Thank you for being here. Today, we have a phenomenal conversation with a phenomenal human being. This human being I'm particularly fond of, since he has been such an inspiration in my life, such an impact in my life in many ways, in my leadership, in my finances, and in so many different ways. And seeing him grow in his life and make the impact that he has made has really always created a benchmark for me. Like, you know, in some degree, like in the silence moments of my brain, I always think, man, I want to be like Alvin. He's like really cool. Alvin is like a cool human being. I want to be like him. So Alvin, thank you for being that way for me, being that human being that creates a benchmark for me. But I'm gonna say just a few things about you that to create to create who you are, and then to give you the question for the rest of the day and for the rest of the huddle. So I'm going to say a little bit about Alvin. He has 2 decades of business experience. He's currently a senior. Excuse me. I did something here. So 2 decades. Excuse me. Okay. So he's currently a senior executive with World Financial Group, has over 30 financial offices nationwide. He has been featured in Forbes Magazine. He is the top 2% income earners in the US, makes multiple 6-figure incomes. In his industry, he has over 240 licensed financial professionals in his team. He's a speaker and an author. His book, Don't Let Adversity Steal Your Legacy, was an Amazon bestseller, right? A man of faith, a husband to Candice, right? And and a son of Alvin and Jerry and the oldest of two brothers, Kelsey and Reggie. He started his business entrepreneur journey at the time he was 23 years old, fresh out of college from Savannah State. He went to school for electrical engineer, and here he is with us. Alvin, good morning. Thank you for being here.
And thank you, Gio. Good morning, man. Thanks for having me here. Hello, everybody. I see some familiar faces. I see some friends from back in the day. I'm glad that we're connecting. And I tell you what, I'm just so excited to be here, Gio. And man.
Thank you, Alvin. And I'm going to give you the question for you to build for the next 15 minutes.
Okay, cool, man. I was just about to tell them a little bit of history about us, man. You know, back in the day when we met, man, I know we have taken some leadership classes together and we built some businesses together. But man, I tell you what, every conversation and a little 5-minute or 10-minute sit down, we always come out of that meeting 10 times, 100 times better, man. So I just want to thank you for those 5-minute talks, those 10-minute talks. It makes a big difference in someone's life. So I just want to thank you for that, man.
Thank you, Alvin. Thank you so much. And today's question for us to tackle on is, how do you build a legacy for your family and your community?
Wow. I love talking legacy. So I'm going to break it down from my perspective of what I see. And I'm taking notes here too, man, because I love this platform and I love what I see here. Let's start off with this. Are you going through the motions? Are we going through the motions of life? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I may sleep in. Sunday, I may go to church. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then before you know it, you're 30 years old, you're 40 years old, you're 50 years old, you're 60 years old, you're 70 years old. Everybody show up to your birthday party and they got to say something good about you. What are they going to say? And we go through the motions of life and we fight every day to survive. And then some people think long term and some people just trying to get by. But if we can change that conversation to future language, to vision language, and then re-engineer it backwards till today, we will have a more fulfilled life. It's 2020, and yes, we're in a pandemic, and yes, there's a lot going on in 2020. How are you going to come out of 2020? So before we talk about 2030 and 2040, we got to understand there's lessons that we're learning. And there's 3 ways to learn. One from your mistakes, one from other people's mistakes, and then you learn by doing. So on a sheet of paper, everybody, write down your biggest lesson that you learned in 2020. Like the biggest lesson you ever learned. So every client and every time I talk to individuals or groups, that's the question I like to know. What is the biggest lesson that you learned in 2020? And we can talk about that a little bit later, but the lesson you learned, I'm hearing I would have saved more money. I would have been more prepared. I would have had an emergency fund. I would have been in a better position financially. And see, nobody was thinking legacy in March. People was thinking survival and trying to stay alive. Health pandemic, financial pandemic. We have an election coming up. We have all kinds of things happening. And so are you still going to be focused on your legacy with everything that's happening around us? So many people have conversations I call below the line. Below the line. They're talking about, okay, just getting by, barely paying bills, talking about debt, talking about I barely made it. So that's the conversation we're having below the line. Let me invite you to have conversations above the line, like legacy, net worth, profits, building a business, profit margin, wealth. See, if you change that language, we're going to change the environment. And I want to share with you the 5 E's when it comes to changing the environment. So now we change the language, and now we're hanging around different conversations, and we're hanging around different relationships, Gio. See, all we have at the end of the day is relationships and conversations. So what kind of relationships are you building? What kind of conversations are you having? See, the conversations should build new relationships. And inside of those new relationships, you're going to have more conversations that can help you build your legacy. But if my relationships and my conversations do not talk about legacy or build legacy, the chances of me having a legacy will not be there because I never had the conversations and I never had the relationships. See, the relationship now, I can invite new people to our circle and our relationship, and then we control the conversation with positive influence. Does the table influence you, or do you influence the table? And when we sit down at the table, what are we talking about and what are we building together? You know, people are going to talk. What are we talking about? Are we talking about our circumstance, or are we talking about where we're going? And I always tell people this: look like your legacy, not your adversity. And when I'm driving my car, right, I gotta have my eye on the windshield so I can stay focused on where I'm going. And my rearview mirror is just a glimpse of the past. But if I stare at my rearview mirror the whole time, guess what? I'm gonna wreck the car. And Gio, when we run into some adversity and it hits my windshield and it hits my vision, I just turn on the windshield wiper to get that adversity off my windshield, right? And every now and then, you know, somebody may bump the horn at me to get me back in line just in case I got over. But I got friends like you that are my rearview mirror that I can't see in my blind spot to tell me, hey man, let's make sure we focus on our legacy. And so if you think about it, you gotta have faith. See, your headlights, right? They only go so far. It's not going to show you all the way to your destination. So my headlights gives me enough faith to keep going. So I got to keep going. And so I love having conversations about people, about where you're going, who you're hanging around with, and what are you doing? See, when we were kids, our mom, our dad, our aunties, uncles, where are you going? Who are you hanging around? And what are you doing? So as adults, we got to do that too, Gio. You know, there's 3 types of legacies, right? Your emotional legacy, the legacy of knowledge, and a financial legacy. See, we don't have time to get in all of them. See, the emotional legacy is how you're going to be remembered. The emotional legacy is how were you helping people, and how are you really a good person to people, and what will you be remembered for? Maybe your book, maybe a poem, maybe a song. I don't know. See, the legacy of knowledge is wisdom and understanding. But most people only talk about the financial legacy, right? The money, the cars, real estate. Okay, great. Inheritance. Okay, I got it. So let's talk a little bit financial legacy. Number 1, I truly believe everybody should do a financial DNA discovery. So what is that? We're going to figure out exactly how you handle money. When you hear the word money, what comes to mind? How did your parents handle money? What habits did you pick up? Are you a better saver or a spender or a saver? You know, some people are savers, some people are spenders, some people are just avoiders, man. They don't want to talk about it. And then we break down every step, exactly how we can help you get ahead financially. And then we look 100 years down the road and bring it back till today. So that's a financial DNA discovery, because we all have a different financial DNA. The way you make money decisions, the way I make money decisions, the way Jacqueline make money decisions is different based on the lens we're looking out of. And we believe we're making the best money decision at the time we make the decision. So financial DNA discovery, do a financial plan, make sure you have at least $1 million of protection for your family, at least $1 million of legacy there. The second one, maybe a real estate portfolio. That's not my expertise, but I can tell you what, I think it's good to have that in there. And then the last one, we talk about this all the time, have $1 million business. So a $1 million financial plan minimum, a $1 million real estate portfolio minimum, and a $1 million business. I think with those 3 things, you're going to build an amazing legacy. But let me tell you this. The longer we wait to do something, the most likely it will never happen. And we talked about that yesterday. See, so many people want to go through the motions. I'm busy. I got a lot going on. Okay, I get it. Get out a clean sheet of paper, write down everything you have busy, write down everything you have going on, put a dollar sign next to it, and put an L next to it if it's building you money or building a legacy. See, you got to build your legacy every day. And you got to have the conversation every day. Because if I'm not in the conversation, then it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So you got to say, I decided I'm going to build a legacy. Then guess what? Then you plan it and then you figure it out. You know, a lot of people try to figure it out and then plan and then decide. You got to decide first, then you're going to plan it, and then you're going to figure it out. See, if you could figure it out, you would have figured it out already. But decision is power. The most powerful thing in the world is a made-up mind. I've decided to build a legacy. I decided to accumulate wealth. I'm planning it out. Now I figure it out along the way. See, a person getting married and said, hey, I'm figuring out trying to get married. Okay, you figure it out. Make a decision, then plan it, and then figure it out while you're married. See, if you got a person that's in first grade, a little child in first grade, and you're trying to figure out how to coach them and parent them how to be an 18-year-old, see, you can't do it that way. I'm trying to figure out how to make my 1-year-old act like an 18-year-old. That doesn't work. See, I decided to have kids, right? Then you plan the kids, and then you figure it out along the way. I learned that from a very, very wealthy individual. He said, Alvin, if you do it in that order, you will hit your goals. But if you're always trying to figure it out and then plan it and then decide, it will never work. Decision comes first. Here's the last thing I have for everybody right here. And this is right out of my book right here. Don't let adversity steal your legacy. So what inspired me to write this book? I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, right? And when it came back the second time, you know, I said I had no fear and I had no worry. The first time it hit me, I had fear and worry for like 10 minutes because I knew there was something big for me. And I said, people let small adversities wipe them out. See, all we got to do sometimes is take the pebble out of our shoe and keep walking on our journey. But some people will never take the pebble out of the shoe, and they let the adversity stop them. So don't let adversity steal your legacy. Look like you're going somewhere, not like you've been through something. So I'll just read a few of the chapters real quick. So what stops people? Family decisions, the IRS, taxes, bad advice, lifestyle, bad decisions, bad business partners, addictions, caregiving, relationship decisions, divorce, and mindset. I'm going to just talk to you about one thing here in mindset, and I'll pass it back to you, Gio. You ever hear people say, I want to change my life. I really want to change my legacy. I want to change my life. You know, I'm tired of going through the motions. I want change. Okay, great. See, if you change something, you probably would go back. So we got to change first and then transform. Because once I transform your mind, it can never go back to its original state. So here's a quote here. The pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain of change. See, so many people are going to remain the same and never change. So I came up with the 5 E's of change that will lead to transformation. And I'm sure a few people on here are going to relate to this. So the 5 E's. The first E, if you're going to change your life, and if you want to have a better 2020, a better 2030, a better 2040, you got to understand this. The first E is environment. I'm not saying change the zip code. I'm not saying change the state. I'm saying change the conversations and change the relationships, change the vision. See, you got to be around a new environment. Like for me, this right here, Gio, I love this environment. See, we got to invite people to the new environment with new language, because language will locate us. New language, people that care about them, people that want to see them win. So now you're in a new environment, and I love what you created here, new environment. And see, the second E is expectations. So now you're in this new environment. I have new expectations for you, right? I want you to understand, as a coach, this is what we expect of you. See, most people have no expectations on them. So that's why they never rise up. See, there was a study done with the smart kids and the bad kids. Smart kids, they told the teachers, these are the bad kids, bad grades, bad kids. So they put them over here. And then the teacher had the expectation, these are the smart, these are bad kids. And they put the bad kids with the teachers and said, these are the smart kids. And so they switched them. And so at the end of the semester, the kids that made the good grades and were the good kids turned out being the bad kids. And the bad kids turned out being the good grades. What happened? The expectation of the environment. See, if I'm talking legacy in the environment, we're going to grow. So that leads me to the third E. Man, I'm excited about this. Execution. See, you're in my new environment. We give you new orders. Now we got to execute. See, we got to take action, and you got to hold me accountable on my action. And I gave you permission to hold me accountable. And I love the accountability because now I'm going to grow in this new environment. The fourth is experience. See, now you're in the new environment, new expectation, new action, new execution. So you're getting a new experience. See, life is about experience. When I went overseas, I experienced different living, and I came back here and I appreciated it more. When you go through the experience builds confidence. Confidence builds cash, and cash will build your legacy. So that leads me to the fifth E. The fifth E, now you are the example of the 5 E's. Because people are going to say, Gio, I see a change in you, man. I see you working and running your business, man. I want to be like you. What do I do? Come in my new environment, have new conversations. We're talking about legacy. We're talking about building. We're talking about branding. We're talking about marketing. The conversations you had in the past will not take you where you want to go in the future. So those are the 5 E's. It's right here in the last chapter. And it's all about legacy. Like, don't do that. Don't do this. Learn from other people's mistakes. These are some clients. I changed the names and some of my personal mistakes that I've made so people can learn. So let's finish this up. Remember,
Yeah, we want to ask you questions, man.
I just got one thing to say, man. Just one last thing. Thank you. That's it, man. Thank you for having me on here, man. But go right ahead.
Alvin, wow, like, woo, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to continue this call and just go do something, right? This is phenomenal. Great. Thank you for the energy. And really, it's one of the, I was just very, it was really in my face that how I build my legacy is at the conversations I'm having and the relationships I have. And what are the conversations I'm having with the relationships I have? Are my conversations focused on legacy, or my conversations are focused on something else, right? And that really, you know, confronts something over here on how intentional I am with the conversations I have.
Absolutely.
So I want to welcome Saurel. Thank you for being here.
Saurel, what's going on, Saurel?
What's going on? I want to steal a line from your page, Gio. We need more Alvin Darien. I can't get enough of you, brother. Welcome to the Daily Huddle.
Man, thank you. Thank you for having me, man. I'm so glad to be here, and I appreciate the work that y'all are doing and helping the community and man, getting the word out there, the message out there. I'm excited.
Yes. Alvin, as we ask you maybe a few questions before we close, please put in the chat so I can put on Facebook what contact information you want to have people for you so that they can contact you, go to your book, etc.
There's a few links. I tell you what.
If you just type it there in the chat, I'll share it. Or you can.
Okay, got it. I think it'd be quicker for me just to text it to you, and then you can put it in there.
I will.
Okay, great.
So as you're doing that, I'm going to have you multitask. As you're doing that, here's the question I want to get us started on. If some of you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. One of the things that has been in some degree a question to me, and also something I struggle with, is, okay, so I am committed to have new relationships and I am committed to have new conversations. And then you kind of build momentum, right? And then you maybe some people are like fond of this new Alvin, they're fond of this new Giovanni, but then some people are not. They're like, excuse me, that's not who you were for 15 years. I don't like this person that you are. Let's go back to that old conversation. Let's talk about the stuff that we talked about, right? But you know it's not building the legacy, and now you're kind of like on this place of, do I just move on? Do I just make them wrong? How do you manage that transition? Or what are your suggestions to manage that transition?
That's very good question, Gio. You got to tell people, hey, I'm making some major changes in my life. So I'll say, Gio, I just want to let you know, I know we're friends, man, and I want to let you know I'm making some major changes in my life. I'm changing some of the conversations I'm having, and I'm also building new relationships with people or that's going to help me get X, Y, Z. Now, if you want to join us in these conversations and I'll introduce you to the new relationships, I'm open to do that. So yes, you're going to see some changes in me, and I want you to see that. Now, Gio, as my friend, can you hold me accountable to the new Alvin that I want to become? Can you be that friend for me? You see how I shifted the whole conversation from, man, you changing, man, you're this different person. Gio, can you hold me accountable just in case I slip back to the old person that people are familiar seeing me with? Can you be that person that bumped me back in line so that I don't go back there? And then people are like, yeah, I'll hold you accountable. See, now they're part of the method. Now they're part of the team. See, it's not a friction no more. So I got to get people to join the vision that they see. And then I got to get them to go through the 5 E's.
Got it. Yeah. So I want to keep following up, but I won't. I won't follow up. Rose or Saurel, do you have something to jump in? Go ahead, Saurel.
Rose is jumping in first, my friend. Go ahead, Rose.
Okay, great. My goodness, I'm so fascinated by this conversation this morning. So thank you very much, Alvin, for that. Okay, so my question is 2 parts. First of all, would you go back through the $3 million portfolios that you said we should establish? And here's my caveat, right?
Okay.
Okay, so I know age is just a number, but I am in my 70s. And so when you say $1 million portfolios, that sounds like, you know, my resignation and cynicism rises and says, you know, too late. So tell me what I should do.
Okay, great. So the 3, I would say $1 million in a real estate portfolio, counting your residence, because, you know, that could be a part of the legacy that we leave. Okay. And then you want to have $1 million of, let's say, coverage. It doesn't have to be $1 million in cash. See, I learned you have to buy your net worth and you have to buy your legacy. The best way to buy your net worth and buy your legacy is through life insurance. So you have at least $1 million policy if it's suitable for you. And then the last one, you have $1 million business that will generate $1 million. It may not generate $1 million right now, but the systems and the scalability in place, in the future, it can generate $1 million. So long as I'm focusing on those 3 things, and that's part of my conversation, regardless of age, because you never know who people are going to lead you to, right? Somebody could lead you to a business idea, and somebody could lead you to a person or a coach that could build that $1 million portfolio. Now, or most people won't have all 3, but we want to go after all 3. But the main one, your passion, your business, something that you really want to do, something that gets you up early in the morning, keep you up late at night, and you know in your mind you're building $1 million business, right? And so every day you get up, you got to say, am I working closer to that $1 million business? And then it grows from there. Then we expand it from $1 million to 10 million or whatever we want it to be. But if we focus on those 3 things, I truly believe we're going to shift our intentions every day, and we're going to understand the power of 10 minutes. 10-minute focus, 10-minute focus, 10-minute focus, 10-minute break. 10-minute focus, 10-minute focus. I'm building my legacy. 10-minute focus, 10-minute focus. So the power of a 10-minute focus changes everything. So when we look at the big picture, they're going to say, how did you do it? You'd be like, I had so many 10-minute focuses that it is eventually compound. So take it 10 minutes at a time.
Thank you, Alvin. Thank you,
Thank
Rose.
you for that. And the other thing I hear is, okay, Rose, start with $250,000.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Go ahead, Maria Sangria, or yeah, go ahead, Maria. You're still on mute, Maria.
Okay, can you hear my voice now?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you, Maria.
Okay, great, thank you. Greetings. Hi, Alvin. I want to say thank you so much. I'm deeply grateful for your inspiration, for everything that you shared. It really does resonate with me that you actually include emotional and knowledge with the financial. I rarely hear that done, And I also want to say that recently I've had a mantra that I've like really been uplifted by, and you actually to me are the essence of my mantra. So I want to share it with you.
Oh,
You
please.
ready?
I'm ready.
Language transforms reality.
Oh, that's powerful. That is powerful.
Thank you, Maria.
So you're welcome. And I want to say thank you, and the universe thanks you, Alvin.
All right. I'm so glad to be here with you. You're welcome. Thank you for that. Language transforms your reality. And I wrote it down too. And that's so true.
Love it. I love it. So, Saurel, go ahead. We have Jacqueline. I want to hear from you, Saurel. I have been ignoring you, Saurel. I feel guilty.
Oh, no. I've been doing the work of the Daily Huddle in another venue. And so thank you for your partnership that makes that possible. So Alvin, I've got the circle in my mind, and it goes like this: meet new people, talk to them. Don't talk to them about anything else but a big future and a legacy.
There you go.
Enroll and engage the people you already know, including the ones you just met, in being your accountability partners.
You got it.
Oh my God, that's it. It's this circle, right? Meet people, talk to them. Meet people, talk to them.
You know what I'm
doing that.
You ready for this, Saurel? When I throw the pebble in the pond, I see the splash, but I don't see the ripple effect where it continues to go. See, we are all a ripple effect. So we got to keep those waves moving. See, we don't know where it's going to end. The messenger will leave, but the message will linger for generations. And now we're meeting people. I don't know who people will lead me to. I may be led to a conversation and a new relationship that I hit all my goals in 1 year. You just never know. So being present and being in a conversation and sharing big vision is the key, because everybody's trying to, you know, they don't, some people don't want to, I don't say everybody, most people don't talk vision language. They talk what's happening now language.
So great, man. We want to keep kidnapping you and keeping you with us for the rest of the hour.
Yeah, hey, I blocked off a whole hour, man. So I'm excited to be here. Keep it going. If some people need to jump off, they can. But hey, I'm here. I'm here, Gio.
You're awesome. Okay, yes, very good. Let's do that, Alvin. Those of you, thank you for being here. And we appreciate profoundly the opportunity of having you share this morning with us. If you need to jump off, go ahead and do so. We appreciate you and we thank you, but let's steal a little bit more time from Alvin. Jacqueline, go ahead.
And I just want to thank you very much for your time and your wisdom today. I definitely appreciate everything you have provided and given me this morning. The analogy of the car and not looking back in that rearview mirror, and even using the windshield wipers when there's in time of adversity. I hadn't heard that one, so that was very good for me. I appreciate that. You also broke it down in 10-minute focuses. And that's huge, because if I'm able to break it down 10 minutes at a time, 10 minutes at a time to focus, 10 minutes at a time, and then have to take a break from that focus and then get back in there, that's manageable.
Yep.
And it breaks that down a little bit so that I'm not seeing this huge picture that I'm unable to grasp. I'm looking forward to getting your book, and I'm going to do that today. And I thank you very much for everything. I don't have a question per se. I just wanted to thank you for everything that you provided today. Thank you.
You're welcome, Jacqueline. I'm going to give you a little bonus. You see this little clock here?
Yes.
Okay, this is the clock that we use for baking, right? Remember, before the stoves had a timer. So I have 10 minutes right there. So when I hit 10 minutes, I know I'm in a 10-minute focus. So, you know how sometimes we have a things to do list, and it can become a little bit overwhelming because we keep piling things on top of it. So I'll write 5 things at a time. So I have to get through those 5 things. So I'll look at how much time it may take me. But when this clock goes off, either I got to take a break or I got to jump into something else, because this clock will keep my 10 minutes on point focus. And you can get it on Amazon. It's cost like $10 or something like that. But I can tell you what, 10-minute phone calls goes a long way. 10-minute email, following through email. 10 minutes of text messaging. 10 minutes of just thinking sometimes. 10 minutes of no screen time.
Right.
See, we're on the screen. We got the phones, we're on the computer, watching TV. So just 10 minutes, right? And I play chess every day. So I'll take a 10-minute break and play chess on the phone just to get my mind thinking, right? So I play at least 5 games of chess every day because I got to keep thinking of next moves, and I do that. So this right here has helped me in so many ways. And I would say order it on Amazon because we have it on our phone. We're doing stuff on the phone. But the psychology of just having this little thing. Now, I used to have the one that had the tick, tick, tick. I had to get rid of that one. I was like, oh, that's going to drive me crazy.
Right.
But this one here, it just beeps at the end of the 10 minutes. You can set it for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you're doing. But you know that 10 minutes, you're building your legacy.
Thank you.
You know that 10 minutes, you're focused, like you intense that 10 minutes. Think about it. A heavyweight fight is 3-minute round. A lot happens in a heavyweight fight in 3 minutes. Think about it. When a person in surgery, like that critical point is less than 10 minutes. So we got to learn to break it down and focus. And I can give myself a high five. Did I give it all? I got that 10 minutes. Did I build my legacy that 10 minutes? Did I move my net worth forward that 10 minutes? And I think if we do it that way, it becomes a game. How many 10-minute focuses did I win? Now, the opposite can happen. You log online, start following stuff on the internet, go here on Facebook, Instagram. You go through these tunnels, and before you know it, it's like an hour. That helps. I hope that helps, Jacqueline.
That helped immensely. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm getting the clock today as well.
Yep, and it's a tailored clock right on Amazon, just right here on my desk.
Thank
you. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Alvin. And let's keep taking some more of Alvin, a little bit more of Alvin. Pamela, how are you? Good morning. I see your hand is up.
I'm wonderful, thank you, and I'm really enjoying this conversation. I wanted to ask Alvin if he was familiar with the book, What Would the Rockefellers Do?
Oh, I got it.
They
I got it right here. I got a whole PowerPoint on that book.
Oh, awesome, because I was going to ask your recommendations or your opinions of the infinite banking system and creating the family bank, which is a concept that I'm exploring right now.
Okay, I'm going to talk concept, okay? That is a very good concept. I teach the concept to my clients, my family. We use the concept. However, remember the Rockefellers, that last name goes back in time. So at the time, the products and services that was out was all they had. Nowadays, there's some more innovative products that can get the job done. So yes, I believe in the family meetings. I believe in making sure, we get rid of all threats when it comes to our money and legacy. And I'll share the 3 major threats. The first threat to building your legacy and creating wealth. See, I say the word threat to grab your attention, right? So the first threat to your legacy would be becoming disabled and can't get out of the bed to go build your legacy. The second threat would be a major health concern, heart attack, stroke, cancer, blood clots, something like that. And then the third threat to your legacy will be taxes. So the strategies that I use, we get rid of the threats. Now we can build a legacy. Because I don't want to build a legacy and then the big threat pops up later, right? So that is a very good book. There's some updated and more innovative programs and products. And I'll make sure, we can talk later offline because I don't like to get into products in a public setting like this. But I can tell you, you're on the right track with the mindset of building the family bank.
Thank you. And I look forward to the conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That is awesome, Alvin. Go ahead, Saurel.
Well, Gio, it's 41 after, my friend. We could squeeze everything out of you, Alvin.
I can come back. I know it's a daily huddle, so I don't mind coming back, Gio. You know, if you want to have me back.
I'd love it. We would love that. So thank you for leaving us with the legacy. You know, Rochelle, I want to acknowledge you for being here. And Dola, first time. Van Gordon, first time. Welcome to the Daily Huddle. And to all of you, and especially to you, Giovanni, thank you for bringing Alvin Darien to the mix. Alvin, you have been a tremendous blessing to our Daily Huddle family. This is your home. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Alvin, we cannot get enough of you. Thank you for being here. Man, I can see how you have created a movement around legacy. I am enrolled in the movement. I be part of the movement, and my conversations are definitely shifting today around legacy. You know, around the dinner table conversation has to have at some point a legacy conversation.
Absolutely.
Legacy. Speaking of legacy, Alvin, what are your last words?
My last words is this, and I said it earlier: look like your legacy, not your adversity.
Look like your legacy, not
your adversity.
Giovanni, there are special requests from Alvin's fans on Facebook. Cynthia Logan says, I cannot get enough of the 3 types of legacies. Come back, Alvin, come back.
You know, and I would love to come back, and I can bring some, you know, in the near future, I can bring some of the experts on the team that helps build the whole legacy movement.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. I'm excited, everyone. So, yeah, thank you for your time, everybody. And I would say have a productive day. Make sure you get your 10-minute focuses on and keep building your legacy every day.
Thank you, Alvin. Thank you, everybody. Have a phenomenal rest of the day. We love you. See you tomorrow, 9 a.m.
Have a good day. Thank you, Alvin,
This
very
was
much.
awesome.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Amazing.
This was